You wake up at 3 a.m., and the first thought is not about your family, it is about your job. A specific cold knot of dread tightening your chest. It feels like a vice, and it whispers a single, terrifying question. Am I obsolete? Welcome to the Midlife Reset Manual. I am here with you in that 3 a.m. darkness. We are dealing with a silent epidemic today. Midlife career anxiety. It is not just stress, it is existential dread, disguised as a worried thought about a deadline. It is the fear that you have peaked, and the rest of your professional life is a slow, painful slide towards irrelevance. For too long, we have been taught to treat this anxiety like a weakness, like something we must medicate or meditate away. But I want to offer you a radical reframe. Your anxiety is not a foe. It is your most powerful ally. It is your smoke detector. It is screaming at you that there is a fire, not a fire in your performance review, but a fire in your soul. The problem is that you are listening to the sound of the alarm, but you are refusing to look for the smoke. You are overworking. You are overcompensating. You are saying yes to everything, thinking compliance will buy you safety. But safety in midlife is not bought with compliance. It is claimed with courage. Let me tell you about Denise. Denise is 44, a brilliant marketing specialist at a major tech company. She had the title, she had the salary, but every Sunday afternoon she felt a physical sickness. She called it the dread hour. She told me she was having panic attacks before every team meeting. Not because she didn't know the material, she knew the material better than anyone, but because of the shame of one single self-inflicted wound. She felt she was an imposter. I asked Denise to name her anxiety, to give it a specific identity. She closed her eyes and described a physical pressure, a heavy, cold hand on the back of her neck. She called it the tense shoulder. The tense shoulder was her boss. It was her mortgage. It was the terrifying image of her bank account empty. She had outsourced her entire sense of worth to the corporate logo on her laptop. She had spent 20 years building her identity around being the reliable one, the indispensable one, the one who never failed. And she realized that the fragility of that perfect identity was the source of all her pain. She wasn't afraid of being fired. She was afraid of being invisible. She was afraid that without that corporate title, she would cease to exist. Micro-resolution. The moment Denise named the tense shoulder and looked it in the eye, she realized something profound. The cold hand wasn't a punishment. It was an instruction. It was telling her the container is too small. Your soul has outgrown this job, and the anxiety is just the pain of a magnificent creature trying to break out of a cramped cage. Denise's realization is the starting line for all of us. Your career anxiety is a GPS signal, and it is pointing you toward a destination of greater purpose, the destination that requires you to be honest about three things: the sources of the smoke. We have to analyze your specific fear because anxiety is complex. It usually stems from one of three career smokes: the smoke of misalignment, the smoke of invisibility, or the smoke of financial dependence. Let's unpack misalignment first. This is when the work you are doing is no longer challenging you. You are bored. You are going through the motions, and your anxiety is an intellectual frustration. It is a brilliant mind screaming for stimulation. It says, "This is too easy for me. I am wasting my genius. Your purpose is demanding. Go bigger. Find a problem worthy of your experience." Then there is the smoke of invisibility. This is the hardest one for women in their 40s. You are working harder than everyone else. But the recognition goes to the louder person, the younger person. You are the substance. They are the noise. Your anxiety is telling you your work is not the problem. Your personal brand is the problem. It says, stop being the silent workhorse. Start being the visible owner. And finally, the smoke of financial dependence. This is the root of most midlife fear. You are terrified of being fired because you look at your savings account and you know you cannot survive a year without the paycheck. Your anxiety is a crystal clear call to action. It is not a call to meditate. It is a call to build a firewall. It is telling you, build a safety net, build a side hustle, create options, because options equal peace. You cannot solve a money problem with a therapy session, and you cannot solve an identity crisis with a spreadsheet. You need a holistic strategy, a roadmap that moves you from this emotional chaos to focused, decisive action. I have distilled this into a 3-part protocol, a system that transforms your dread into your destiny. The first step is the clarity audit. This is where we confront the fear. The second is the power-up plan. This is where we reclaim your professional narrative. And the third is the exit strategy. This is where we build the ultimate security blanket, the ability to walk away on your own terms. We are going to start right now with the first crucial step, the clarity audit. This is not a gentle exercise. It is a forensic examination of your fear because you cannot fight a shadow until you turn on the light. You have to stop asking vague questions like, what am I doing with my life? And start asking precise directional questions. I want you to take a moment today and write down the specific fear that wakes you up. Is it the fear of being fired? Is it the fear of being judged by your children? Is it the fear of being single and poor at 65? Name the beast. Once you name it, you realize it is not a monster. It is a data point, and data is controllable. But we have to go deeper than just naming the fear. We need to map the terror. We need to find out where this fear is taking you and how to redirect the energy. The rest of the clarity audit is about mapping the exact contours of the problem. It is about creating a detailed inventory of the pain points, so that in part 2, we can attack them with precision. This is where you make the biggest commitment to your future. You are ready to transform this fear into focus. You are ready to stop being the victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your outcome. If you are ready to move from the chaotic noise of anxiety to the silent, sharp clarity of a plan, if you are ready to convert that paralyzing dread into focused drive, click that subscribe button right now. Turn on the notifications, because in the next video, we are going to take this fear map and build the power-up and exit strategies that guarantee your career freedom. Do not miss the blueprint. We left off confronting the beast, naming the fear, and finding the smoke. Whether that smoke is misalignment, invisibility, or financial dependence, you now hold the map, but a map is useless unless you walk the path. The path to career peace is not paved with affirmations. It is paved with action. The anxiety you feel is energy. It is raw power, and we are going to stop letting it spin wildly into panic. We are going to harness it and point it directly at your next goal. This is where we move into the second phase, the power-up plan. For decades, you were taught to be the perfect worker. Now you must learn to be the perfect owner, the perfect manager of your own career stock. Let's talk about invisibility first, because this is the silent killer of the midlife woman's career. You are working so hard in the shadows. You are fixing problems before anyone knows they exist. You are a brilliant firefighter, but the company only rewards the person who screams about the fire. You have to change your marketing strategy. You have to realize that in the modern workplace, the work doesn't speak for itself. You have to speak for the work, and you have to speak with authority. I want you to implement a ritual starting this week, the Friday Win Memo. This is not a report. It is a broadcast. Every Friday afternoon at 4 p.m., you send a brief email to your direct manager and one key stakeholder who impacts your future. The subject line is simple: weekly progress and impact summary. In the body, you list 3 things, 3 metrics, 3 undeniable wins from your week. Not, I attended 5 meetings, but I streamlined the Q3 budgeting process, saving the team 15 hours of manual labor per week. You must quantify your impact. You must attach your name to the dollar sign. You must attach your name to the solution. If you stopped a major client from leaving, you don't say I calmed the client down. You say I successfully mitigated the risk of losing client X, retaining $500,000 in annual revenue. This is the language of leadership. This is the language of ownership. Why do you do this? First, it eliminates the assumption of notice. Your boss is busy. You are providing them with the bullet points for their own presentation to their boss. You are making it easy for them to promote you. Second, it rewires your own brain by documenting your wins. You are retraining your inner critic to stop focusing on your failures and start focusing on your undeniable competence. The second part of the Power Up plan is the discomfort challenge. Your anxiety tells you to hide in meetings, to send emails instead of making phone calls to avoid conflict. We must fight this reflex because promotion is always on the other side of discomfort. Your goal for the next 30 days is to reclaim your voice. In every meeting you attend, you must contribute one thoughtful, undeniable point. Do not talk for 10 minutes, talk for 30 seconds. Speak up early and speak with authority. Even if your voice shakes, the content must be valuable. When a younger colleague presents a project you helped design, you don't let them take the full credit. You step in gracefully and say, "That is an excellent presentation of the final numbers. I am happy to see the success of this project, which leveraged the initial framework my team and I developed in the feasibility stage." You are not attacking the person, you are protecting your intellectual property. You are claiming your real estate. This is difficult because it feels confrontational. It feels like you are violating the nice girl code. But let me remind you of the lie. The nice girl code is what kept you stuck. The people who achieve at the highest levels are not nice. They are respectful. They are collaborative, but they are unapologetic about their contribution. The goal of the Power Up plan is to make yourself indispensable visibly. You want the conversation around the promotion table to shift from "Maria is a good worker" to "We cannot afford to lose Maria. She is the only person who understands the full process." Touchable. It is not for investment. It is for freedom. This cash cushion is your liberation insurance. The minute you know you can survive 6 months without a paycheck, your fear of being fired vanishes. And the minute that fear vanishes, your negotiating power increases tenfold. You walk into the office with a quiet authority because you are no longer begging to stay. You are assessing if the company is worthy of your talent. We need to analyze why this is so effective psychologically. When you fear being fired, you operate from a position of scarcity. You accept less pay. You accept more abuse. You accept unreasonable hours. But when you have the Freedom Fund, you operate from a position of abundance. You can say no. That deadline is impossible. If you want it done right, this is what I need. And if they say no, you are not desperate. You can walk away. The second component of the exit strategy is the portable power play. You need to decouple your professional identity from your current company's logo. Your worth is not the company name on your email signature. Your worth is your skill stack. I want you to commit time every single week to building a skill that is non-company specific. Is your company going through an AI integration? Learn the prompt engineering. Is your company shifting to a new data visualization tool? Get certified in that tool. You are investing in your own marketability. Your goal is to become a free agent, a highly desirable consultant who can walk into any company at any time and demand a premium salary. This is the ultimate self-respect. You are looking at the future and saying, I am not afraid of redundancy because my skills are universally valuable. You are no longer relying on the company's loyalty. You are relying on your own competence. Let's look at Maria again, the project manager who was overlooked. She implemented the Power Up plan. She broadcasted her wins. She spoke up in meetings, but the glass ceiling in that specific company was made of titanium. The toxic culture was too entrenched, so she enacted the exit strategy. She updated her powerful resume. She used her Freedom Fund as her launchpad, and she walked into a competitor's office, not as an employee, but as a solution provider. She presented her case based on her recorded wins from the Friday win memos. She secured a vice president title and a 40% salary increase. She didn't shatter the glass ceiling at her old job. She simply moved to a building that didn't have one. The moral of this story is critical. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is not fighting a losing battle. It is knowing when to retreat to a position of greater strength. Your midlife career, anxiety is just energy. It is raw power. It is a smoke detector telling you your life is on fire, but you are the only one who can put it out. And you are the only one who can use the heat to forge a new future. You are not too old. You are perfectly seasoned. You are a woman with decades of wisdom. You are not disposable. You are indispensable, but only when you decide to claim that power. Take the audit, build the firewall, and then walk into your life with the quiet authority of a woman who knows she has options, a woman who is not afraid of the future because she has already designed her perfect escape plan. This is your time to move from fear to focus, from paralysis to power. Go claim your worth, and do not apologize for the space you take up. If this message helped you feel a shift in your chest, if you are ready to stop being stuck and start moving, share this video with a colleague who needs to see the light. We are a force of women rising, and make sure you are subscribed to the Midlife Reset Manual because we are done with fear. We are building empires.